Hi folks, welcome to another edition of the Omnist Hour. That may be a little bit too low, so I'm going to turn it up a little bit more. Oh, well, it's going to be kind of a short one. I'm live streaming, I hope, on YouTube. And this is going to be kind of an Easter egg day. I didn't change the background from last time. I got lazy. What we're going to do today is drop a few hints that may help you find your way to enlightenment, your personal enlightenment, or may be complete and utter gibberish and nonsense to you. So bear with me. I'm going to talk about a particularly holy piece of scripture. Now, most of you, when you hear the word scripture, you brings to mind the Quran or the Bible or I don't know, L. Ron Hubbard's latest out of your ass recitation or the Book of Urantia, whatever turns your crank. Scripture can be any kind of media, and in fact we've been exposed to all kinds of scripture of all kinds of faith throughout our lives without being even aware of it for the most part. Every movie you watched, every book you read, every link you clicked was leading to a scripture of some sort. I'm going to talk about one very special one and tell you why it's special and why you might want to watch it. I'm talking about a movie featuring a very, very talented, very wonderful comedian, Peter Sellers. It's not his best known movie. Most people remember Peter Sellers as Inspector Clouseau in the Pink Panther movies, or as the many characters that he played in Dr. Strangelove, or maybe maybe last film he made, Being There. All are great films and great scripture in their own right, but I'm talking about a movie called The Party. Now, what's so special about that movie? It's very special to me and my father. And a special movie between two Roberts of two generations from a Messiah family is pretty damn special. So this movie may have hidden secrets for you, hidden messages that might just unlock the keys to the kingdom for you if you're intended to attend one of the better places in the kingdom. I'll tell you how I encountered this movie. It was made in, I think, the mid-60s, about the time of Kennedy's assassination, roughly. And I encountered it when I was a teenager. And I'll tell you a little bit about my dad. He was, kind of a strange parent. He loved being around kids until they were about the age of 2. And then once they were too old to be having fun with, playing games with Papa on his lap, he didn't really have much interest in them. And that interest didn't resume for many of us, even into adulthood. I was very fortunate in that I got the chance to bond with him in ways that my siblings didn't, and I think they resented that and often held it against me throughout my life, and probably still do, I guess. One of the big ones that most they're aware of is that I got the chance to take a year off from working a summer job in college and spent the summer building a house, my dad's dream house out in East Sweden, with him, and taking every day that he could. He'd been saving up vacation for years, and so he could take 3, maybe 4 days off every week to work on the house And my pledge to him was I would go work on the house with him all the days he wanted to, and the days that he had to go to work or had something else to do, I would stay at home and I get to play board games, which was my passion at the time. I was into board war games, simulations as it were, in the age before the computer, at least before the computer was available to the average everyday Joe. So that worked out really well for the summer, but that's not the episode I want to talk about. I want to talk about a time before that, which is, to my memory, the only time that I really got to bond with my dad, before that summer of house building. And that was one night where, for some reason, my dad and I were the only ones home, and we chose to watch a movie together. And that experience of watching the movie together was just cathartic. I mean, it was like we couldn't stop laughing at this movie. I mean, we were dying laughing together. And if you've ever known how wonderful that experience is of being with somebody you love and who you've never really quite been on the same wavelength with, and laughing and crying together with a shared experience, you know that that is a very, very special spiritual moment. And this movie that we both laughed together, and I'm sure remembered that experience for the rest of our lives, was called The Party. Incredibly funny movie. It's basically, I don't want to give any spoilers because I want you to enjoy it yourself. It's streaming free on YouTube in the United States, but I don't think elsewhere. I had to use a VPN to access it. And who knows how long it'll be there. You can still buy it and rent it, and maybe it's still the original version. I don't know if the version they have streaming now is even the original version. If you've discovered for yourself what is going on with cancel culture, you'll know that they are actively editing movies to take things out or put things in and change them in ways that support the woke agenda, the cult Marxist revisionism that is destroying humanity today. And I talk about that a lot, and you're welcome to have your opinions there. I can tell you that that is the work of the adversary. That is the work of the devil, of the real Satan, who is the enemy of all humanity, in fact, the enemy of all life. Anyway, this movie, The Party, is about this bumbling Indian actor, which in that time, in the 60s, there were not a lot of Indian actors. I mean, Eastern Indian actors in Hollywood. It was kind of a rare thing, and I think the starting joke of it was he was cast as kind of the character in Gunga Din. If you know the movie Gunga Din, you know that it's about an East Indian bearer during the Imperial Wars, the Imperial area, who saved this detachment of British soldiers by blowing the alarm with the trumpet and thus sacrificing himself to save his comrades, who for modern audiences would be considered his slave masters, because he was, like a low caste bearer. That wasn't his fault. It wasn't the British's fault. It was actually the fault of the Hindu caste system. Yet they pretend now that it was all the fault of the British. This is, again, tying back to this idea of cultural revisionism in Hollywood. At any rate, the movie starts, he is cast as this character in Gunga Din, who's playing this last trumpet to warn the troop of British soldiers below. And it goes from there. And the reason it's called A Party is he blows everything that day on set and gets kicked out of the movie, and but is still invited to cast or Hollywood party because of his role in that film as the only native Indian character who has a speaking part. At any rate, this Hollywood party is a very, very, very funny spoof of what goes on in the upper circles of Hollywood, and casts a lot of fun at this elite bunch of numby-gumbies in Hollywood that think they're smarter than everybody else because they're in movies and they have this easy job of making movies and controlling minds through commercial advertising. Anyway, I'm just putting in a plug for that. That's all I want to do today. It's going to be a short one, and tune in again when I feel inspired to do another Omnist Hour. Like, share, subscribe, participate in any way you like. We're getting pretty close to some fun stuff, in case you haven't noticed or you haven't seen. There's a lot of things, moving parts going on behind the scenes that are going to affect you very, very personally, very, very soon. And I can promise you it's not all bad. At any rate, till next time, happy karma.